Max in Takrade, Jubilee FM in Keta, and Kekeli Radio in Ho. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, and Telesol 4G, just a touch. In this edition, as we continue our Arrival Live road safety campaign, we hear the chilling account of a 10-year-old girl who survived the Cape Coast Takrade Highway accident but lost her mother, father, and 8-month-old sister.
A woman. She was fighting that one of her legs and her hands were stuck. There were tears broken. I saw one man whose head was bashed.
Details as family members struggle to break the news to her 2 weeks after their parents' death. We are also live in court as the state calls its first witness in the prosecution of the NDC National Chairman Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo on conspiracy to cause harm and assault against a public officer charges following a leaked tape. Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining and Occupy Ghana questioned whereabouts of 500 excavators seized from illegal miners after Environment Minister revealed most have disappeared from the district assemblies.
So we sent people out there to talk to the district assembly, and we got Vanguard involved, and most of them had disappeared.
And with the death toll at 132 and rising, Chinese government steps up efforts in dealing with deadly coronavirus.
Closed on a temporary basis airports, train stations, and other exit channels from Wuhan to prevent the spread of the virus. We have also coordinated the mobilization of Central Medical Reserve to distribute relevant materials to Wuhan.
We have details including 1,000 medical officers deployed to the disease-ravaged city of Wuhan. In sport,
former Black Stars coach Kwesi Appiah names former GFA President Kwesi Nyantakyi as the only GFA official who never interfered in his job.
And listen up, guys, for those in the dilemma over how to woo that prospective partner to the Joy FM Valentine's Day experience, Kobna has a few tips.
At least take the girl out, not less than twice. Your simple task was to convince this young lady to follow you. The ladies out there, I believe you agree with me. Good things don't come easy.
I bet you one more tip. Stay with me here on the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. In our very first story, I saw a man whose head had split. I saw another woman screaming for help because she was stuck. Words of a 10-year-old survivor of the Cape Coast Takrade Highway accident earlier this last 2 weeks, which resulted in the death of 34 persons. Although she escaped with minor injuries, her mother, father, and 8-month-old sister all died in the accident. Her 7-year-old brother is unable to walk as he continues to receive treatment at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. As we continue with our Arrival Live campaign to stop the carnage on our roads, my colleague Maxwell Agwagwa brings you her story and how family members are struggling to break the news to her and brother 2 weeks after their death.
10.
You're 10 years. Okay. What's your favorite subject?
Math.
Mathematics. Wow. Math is difficult.
The 10-year-old girl, Mommy, not her real name, sharing with me her dreams of becoming a lawyer. Last 2 weeks' deadly accident nearly truncated that aspiration. The little girl has been narrating to me how she survived.
I want to become a lawyer.
You want to become a lawyer?
Yes.
That's nice.
There were plenty of people shouting and many people too were hurt. I saw people shouting for help.
So who did you see shouting for help?
A woman. She was fighting that one of her legs and her hands were stuck. I saw there were tears broken. I saw one man whose head was bashed.
Mommy's uncle says the 10-year-old girl saw her mother screaming for her and brother to be rescued from the mangled vehicle, but her mother died some hours later. Mommy's brother lies on a bed at the Accident and Emergency Center of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital as his 8th birthday approaches this Sunday. I'm told his father had already started making preparations for the celebration, but now he's dead. Brother of the deceased, Michael Nyakon Asare, says the family is unable to break the news to the 2 surviving children.
They are very attached to their parents, very attached to their parents, because my brother I always talk to on phone and in person, and he's like, he didn't have the best of educations and all that, so he's going to make sure he would go to heaven and earth to, get his kids the best of educations and he's very close to them. We will need the help of a clinical psychologist to help us do that. It's going to affect them so much that, you know, a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old, your parents dying, and
Michael saw the remains of his brother, his wife, and their 8-month-old baby at the morgue.
It was very bad, very, very bad. Half of his head from the side, one eye, the cheek, and the scar was broken. You could, upon arriving at the mortuary, you can see his brains. So no one could have survived that. The wife too had, I think, something went through her head, and the baby was badly damaged.
10-year-old Mame and her brother continue to hope that they will be reunited with their mother, father, and 8-month-old sister, as they have been told by family members they are receiving treatment in another hospital. But the challenge now is how the family will break the unbearable news about the death of their parents and 8-month-old sister.
That chilling account there told by Maxwell Agbagba. Meanwhile, advisor to the President on Health and former Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Anthony Nsiasare, has joined News Arrive Alive campaign with a call on law enforcement agencies to crack the whip on recalcitrant drivers. That's the surest way, in his views, we can reduce the needless deaths on our roads. He also had a caution, particularly to drivers.
My message is that when you drink, don't drive. When you drive, don't drink. And if you're a passenger in a car, the driver is going over speed. If you tell the driver he doesn't agree, get down and don't take that vehicle. And our drivers should also be very, very much conscious. The car engine was all manufactured by you. So speeding doesn't mean anything. And our law enforcement agencies should also make sure that the law works in this country. Keep your eyes on the road.
That's the advisor to the President on Health and former Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Anthony Nsiasare. Arrive Alive, do join the campaign with the hashtag Arrive Alive. Now let's head to the court, because the state is expected to call its first witness in the case against the NDC National Chairman, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo. Ms. Ampofo is to appear in court to answer charges on conspiracy to cause harm and assault against a public officer following a leaked audio tape last year. He's in court alongside a Deputy National Communications Officer, Kweku Boahin, who is facing similar charges. My colleague P.S.C. Nanaya Safo is in court for us and joins us on the line. P.S.C., what happened in court?
Yes, so as expected, today the witness was brought before the court on the case and how to move forward. The witness, is, at least as he said in the testimonial box, is a multimedia journalist from Adom FM by name Daniel Osei Ampofo. The prosecution called the witness and asked him about a witness statement he had signed about a while ago. But it seemed that the witness wasn't quite clear on that, and that brought some controversy in court, as he said, although he had signed, he had not read the document, that's the witness document, very well. All the same, he pledged to provide the court with certain audios, but because the defense said they didn't have that in advance, the court has been adjourned to the 5th, 6th, and 11th of February 2020, where the case is expected to continue.
In my practice, this is the first time I am seeing a witness in the witness box denying an act that was purported to be his act. It's a bad day.
What does this mean for the case going forward?
It simply means that these are trump-up charges. That's why it was difficult for the witness himself to accept the witness statement. And because they are trump-up charges, they needed to couch something for the witness to append his signature. And so, going forward, we have raised some objections. The legal team will deal with the issues that have arisen, but we intend to ensure that we provide proper legal assistance to the accused persons.
But the witness clearly he was able to see that this is his signature.
But you also heard him say that this is the first time I'm seeing the content. And so for a witness to say this is the first time I'm seeing the content, it's for the people to judge whether that content was the handiwork of the witness.
That's a member of the legal team of the National Democratic Congress, lawyer Abraham Amaliba, who has described legal proceedings against the chairman today as an unfavorable for the prosecution. Now, pressure group Occupy Ghana and the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining are questioning the whereabouts of 500 excavators seized from illegal miners, most of which have disappeared from the various district assemblies. The coalition is demanding accountability from the various ministries responsible for dealing with the Galamsey menace. This comes after Environment, Science and Technology Technology Minister Professor Kwabena Frimpong reviewed significant number of 500 excavators seized by the Lands Ministry some time ago from illegal miners have disappeared and cannot be found. He spoke to Daniel Darcy last Monday on the Super Morning Show.
In total, right now we have about 140 or so in our custody.
140?
Yes.
After the first year where the then Minister for Land and Natural Resources, John Peter Amewu, was going around, in 1 year we had about 500 seized.
No, that was not the case. We were told that 500 had been seized and given to the district assemblies and so on.
Because that was the official figure put out at the time.
But later on, when we went out to check, the number was far lower than that.
What was the number at the time?
I can't tell exactly what, but it was far lower than the 500 that was initially declared.
We have correspondence in regions, and Erastus Sasaridonko has done a lot of work on this, where some of the excavators indeed got to the district assemblies, but were returned to the illegal miners. Could it have been that case where we reported we seized them, and then when we went there, they had disappeared?
That is the case. That was the case in most of the areas that we. So we sent people out there to talk to the district assembly, and we got Vanguard involved, and most of them had disappeared.
You heard the Environment, Science and Technology Minister, Professor Kwabena Frimpong. Now joining us, Taraba Kumsin joins me in studio with us. A joint statement from Occupy Ghana, a media coalition against legal mining. What are they saying?
Well, the two groups say they are concerned at this revelation, and is stemming from the fact that the authorities have simply once again failed to follow and enforce the law. The inability of the government to enforce the law, from the facts as we know them, is only matched by the brazenness of the illegal miners. And they say they have some questions for the government that requires answers. One, under the 2006 Minerals and Mining Act, it's illegal for anyone to erect equipment for the purposes of mining without being the holder of either a mining lease or a small-scale mining license. Everyone who does this commits an offense. The government has to explain to Ghanaians whether the persons from whom the equipment was allegedly seized were also arrested. If that did not happen, the government should explain why it did not happen, or were the illegal miners also allowed to disappear just like the equipment. Second, the law then provides that upon the arrest of illegal miners, the equipment they were using shall, quote, regardless of the ownership, be seized and kept in the custody of the police. It is for very good reason that the law demands that the equipment should be kept by the police and no other institution. The government therefore has to explain to Ghanaians why the equipment allegedly seized was kept with district assemblies and not the police. Was this deliberate? Was this to make it very easy for the equipment to simply disappear? Did anyone take an inventory of the seized equipment? And if so, where is that inventory? Which public officers were responsible for flouting the law? So they have a series of questions here in the statement they issued a while ago, Emefa.
Thank you very much, Araba Kumsi. Now, in a separate development, 11 persons alleged to be illegal miners from Burkina Faso have been arrested by personnel of the Airborne Force Detachment based in Wa. They were arrested at Dorimo in the Wa West District. Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam joins us on the line with details. Rafiq, we are told the suspects resisted arrest. Where are they now?
The suspects currently are at the Wa Police Headquarters. They are number 11. Two of them are women, and so they are in the custody of the police. But the leader is currently receiving treatment at the the Wa Municipal Hospital. Yeah, he sustained some wounds after an altercation between him and the Military Airborne Force Detachment.
What's the nature of what they were engaged in? You've been speaking to authorities about it. Did they tell you?
Yeah, I spoke to the police command in the region, and they told me that they have deferred the matter, even though they are investigating it on their side. But the police or the military command themselves are also doing their own investigation on the issue to unravel what transpired at the place. But there were some people who were injured, I told you, and they are still investigating, and they will very soon come out with what transpired at Durmo in the Wawa district.
That's our Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam on some 11 persons that have been arrested. Now, the Chinese government says it is stepping up effort to deal with the deadly coronavirus which continues to spread. At least 132 people are dead and almost 6,000 cases have been confirmed in mainland China as the Wuhan coronavirus spreads across Asia and the rest of the world. Nearly 16 million people are under partial or full lockdown in Chinese cities cases. Chinese health officials who have been addressing journalists in Beijing say the situation is not out of control. The outlined measures being taken.
We have closed relevant markets in a speedy manner, tightened control over illegal breeding, transportation, trading, and consumption of wildlife or wild animals. We have closed, on a temporary basis, airports, train stations, and other exit channels from Wuhan to prevent the spread of the virus. We have also coordinated the mobilization of Central Medical Reserve to distribute relevant materials to Wuhan. We have transported protection suits, masks, gloves, goggles, and other materials to Wuhan. The central government has earmarked 1 billion yuan of funds from the central budget to support the control and prevention work in Hubei. And we have also sent 7 medical teams of 900 doctors to Hubei and Wuhan, and the rotation teams are ready for departure. The military has also sent 450 military doctors and medical workers, and we also have 8 reserve teams of over 1,000 people ready for departure.
Now, there are more than 80 confirmed cases outside of China, including at least 5 in the U.S. So the U.S., Japan, and several other countries are now flying out their citizens out of Wuhan. Kenya and Ivory Coast are also investigating suspected cases. In Ghana here, advisor to the President on Health and former Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Anthony Nsiasare, says Ghana will continue to work with the WHO to adopt ways of dealing with the deadly coronavirus disease in case it finds its way into the country.
The advice we are giving to the President is that we will continuously to work together with the World Health Organization, and we are on the platform of them. We have a daily report, whatever is happening, and as you rightly said, we have increased the surveillance at the ports. We are ready for anything which will happen. We are doing what we call case management, so that our frontline health workers will know that if anybody comes with the signs and symptoms of coronavirus, we will quickly take samples and then we contain. And then the most important thing is early detection, containment, prevention, and make sure that it doesn't spread to other places.
Now, 4 Kenyan students who returned from the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, Wuhan, have been quarantined in a secluded area at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport after showing symptoms of the deadly virus when they disembarked at the airport. My colleague Latif Idris is attending a UN disaster risk reduction program in Kenya. He will join us with more. But here's what to look out for on the deadly coronavirus disease.
Symptoms include fever, persistent cough, impaired breathing, running nose, skin rash, persistent vomiting, and unexplained bleeding. This is a new outbreak, so there had not been any vaccine until January 27th, when Chinese scientists announced a new vaccine which is said to be doing very well. Other scientists around the world are also working around the clock. The Ghana Health Service and the WHO both advise people to frequently wash their hands with alcohol-based hand rub, or what we call a sanitizer, or warm water and soap. Cover your mouth and nose with a flexed elbow or tissue when sneezing or coughing. Avoid close contact with anyone who has a fever or cough. And if you touched a surface suspected to have been infected, do not touch your eyes, nose, and mouth before you wash your hands. Avoid eating raw or uncooked animal products, and seek medical help immediately if you discover any of the symptoms, and share your travel history with healthcare providers. If you do these, we'll all be safe.
That's head of Joy News' health desk, Fred Smith. Now he takes us into Wuhan, the city at the epicenter of this whole coronavirus disease.
Wuhan is sometimes referred to as the Chicago of China because of its key role in domestic transportation. It is the capital and largest city in the Hubei province with a population of more than 11 million. Wuhan was briefly the capital of China in 1927. The city later served as the wartime capital of China in 1937 for 10 months during the Second Sino-Japanese War. Wuhan today is considered the political, economic, financial, commercial, cultural, and educational center of central China. It is a major transportation hub with dozens of railways, roads, and expressways passing through the city and connecting to other major cities. While Wuhan has been a traditional manufacturing hub for decades, it is also one of the areas promoting modern industrial changes in China. Wuhan consists of 3 national development zones, 4 scientific and technological development parks, over 350 research institutes, 1,656 high-tech enterprises, numerous enterprise incubators, and investments from 230 Fortune Global 500 firms. It produced GDP of $224 billion in 2018 alone. The city is also home to multiple notable institutes of higher education, but Wuhan is not new to disasters. The city has suffered flooding in the past, prompting the Chinese government to alleviate the plight of the people there.
That's Wuhan. Now, in Parliament, member of Health Committee, Dr. Mark Kurt Nwani, has described as inadequate government's plans to prevent spread of the coronavirus to Ghana. Delivering a statement on the floor of the House, he said Ghana's healthcare infrastructure is inadequate with too many uncompleted structures. We'll get more subsequently. Let's stay on health-related issues because mental health and addictive disease experts are alarmed by latest trend of drug abuse among the youth in the country, including smoking-dried feces. That's not all. Upper West Regional Commander of the Narcotics Control Board, NACOP, Ishak Bakuri, reviewed during a visit by the Interior Minister some youth also drink drained liquids from used female parts. We'll hear from the Mental Health Authority and other experts shortly on this. But first, the following report by correspondent Rafiq Salam may be disturbing to sensitive listeners. Discretion is advised.
Isaku Bakuri disclosed to the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, new shocking trend of substance abuse emerging in the Upper West region and the country at large. Some youth in the country, in their desperate search for vitality over the years, have been pushed into consuming poisonous substances, including various kinds of glue, turpentine, and petrol. But the latest discovery, according to Isak Bakuri, will make any right-thinking person in the country cring.
People are now smoking poo-poo. They mix the dry shit with marijuana, and according to them, it improves the flavor. And there are others who smoke only the dry poo-poo. There is even another worrying development, which is the use of the pad, which our sisters use when they are menstruating. They will boil the pad, sieve it, and drink it. And others who are unable to buy new pads, they left around in the backyard. When the ladies remove it and throw it away, they take it, go and boil it, sieve it, and drink.
Yaraba stated that they are unable to fight it because there is no legal regime covering the latest craze among the youth. Reporting for J News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Well, head of addictive diseases psychiatric unit at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Logosu Amegashi, is shocked by the revelation. He told Mama Vio Uswabuaji on the AM show there must be some probe into this.
I cannot think about any other thing but some sort of mental derailment because it is highly very abnormal. When people use these things and they develop some of these things that they can eat feces and the rest. There's something we call hebephrenic schizophrenia, where people go mad, not necessarily because of this thing, but they go into toilets and do those things. So that could be the only reasonable explanation that the substances may have created mental derailment. That is why they are doing that.
But for the Chief Executive Officer of the Mental Health Authority, Dr. Akwesio say a comprehensive education program could save many more young people from destruction.
We need a lot of education, and the education should not be targeted at any one thing because you will get them to stop that very thing, they will substitute another. So education generally against getting off or you are getting high on substance of any kind, that is very important. So you need to embark on this education in the schools, age group targeted, schools, workplaces, youth, any means by which you can.
On that note, we take a quick break here on the Midday News. When we return, for those of you in a dilemma of how to woo that prospective partner to the Joy FM Valentine's Day experience, Kwabna has a few tips.
At least take the girl out, not less than twice. Your simple task was to convince this young lady to follow you. The ladies out there, I believe you agree with me. Good things don't come easy.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, We set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
All right, people. This is Kwabna, and the 14th of February is a love experience. Come, let's chill. Come, let's hang out. Come with your partner. Come with your loved ones. Come with family. Come with everybody. It's a love experience once again on the 14th.
To buy your tickets for the love experience with Becca and Kwabna via Momo, just dial *920*50#. Select the buy ticket option and select option 3 to purchase it.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. I'll tell you more about our Valentine's Day special with Kwabna and Becca. But let's do sports now.
Former Black Stars coach Kwesi Appiah has confirmed widely held belief that FA officials influence player selections into the national teams, but has named former GFA president Kwesi Nyantakyi as the only exception.
I believe that when you don't stick to your decisions and when you allow the management sometimes to decide for you, they don't have respect for you in the first place. And the same thing applies to the players as well. So the thing about management, imposing their will on coaches is real. Oh, it's always been there. But there's one, it's Nyantakyi. And I always say anywhere I am, he is the only man who never told me, try to persuade me to pick this player or any player. And I'll always say it anywhere I am, because I believe that, the way forward, we should all try and stick to that kind of attitude, in the sense that it's a national team, it's not an individual thing. If you want to achieve, people should fight for position. People should get to a level where whenever they have opportunity, they should prove that they should deserve to wear the national color.
Former Black Stars coach Kwesi Appiah speaking, then Mr. Nyantakyi is scoring full marks in that regard. That's your sport.
Thank you very much, Hans.
The commitment I want to make is a commitment I want all of us to make. That within these 4 years, by the end of the 4 years of my term in office as president, Accra will be the cleanest city in Africa.
So that was President Akufo-Addo in April 2017 when he boldly pledged to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa by the end of his first term in office. So there were many instances where members in his government said the vision will be achieved in 2024. Even the sanitation minister herself in December last year reiterated the point that the vision will be realized after the second term of the president. But guess what? Today, Madam Cecilia Abunadapa has backtracked. She told Daniel Danzi on the Super Morning Show that the vision will be realized by December this year.
We are on course.
So are we going to hit a target in 4 years?
We can. You and I will also make it possible. It's not a gimmick.
So the president speaking in 2017 said by the end of my 4 years.
Yes.
That is December this year.
Yes.
So December this year, will Accra be the cleanest city in Africa?
I hope it will be. And I know it can be. All players are on board. All players. And like I said, it's not rocket science. It's rather un-Ghanaian to have insanitary conditions in this country. So if the president, the leader of this nation, who wants us well, he wishes us well, the vision of the president is unchanged. And I am there to make sure we execute projects to achieve that vision. But clearly, I will stress again that we are all involved. The vision can be and will be executed.
Sanitation Minister Cecilia Abunadapa. Now, contemporary high-life musician Kwabna has a way of getting women swooning with his songs. Talk of love and emotions, he gets you there. So believe it when he says you would have a Valentine to remember when you turn up for the love experience on February 14 at the Labadi Beach Hotel. I'm sure by now you know he and Becca will be at the concert live that night. But for those who want to spend the night on the beach with that someone you never had, here's how you can woo her.
Make sure what the sunny me point to. We are me royal lady.
You want to bring this girl to Labadi Beach Hotel for the love experience.
Yes.
Right. And you even wish to purchase the 2,000 tickets.
Yeah.
So you sleep and have breakfast.
That's right.
Okay. And you have 18 days. And I've given you a little apple. At least take the girl out. Not less than twice. I am even going to do a lot more work for you to make it even easier. Your simple task was to convince this young lady to follow you on the 14th. The ladies out there, I believe you agree with me. Good things don't come easy. Ladies, me boy.
Remember, tickets are selling for 700 Ghana cedis for the concert, and then to wine, dine, and all the experience plus a night stay at the Plush Labadi Beach Hotel is 2,000. Please come get your ticket. You don't want to miss out. What are people talking about on social media?
So people are talking about Clean Ghana campaign, Joy Clean Ghana campaign. A man was found defecating on the beach and was arrested by AMA officials, and people have been reacting to that video. And Anekuya says, let him clean the place every day for a while, and he will become an advocate for sanitation. Person they squat small, you they come arrest them. And Latte Lawson says that is the reason why Ghana must get sanitation courts. Anyone who commits an offense must be arrested. And Adu Achimpong says it's a waste of time. Let him clean that place for a month. And the last one is Ebina, who says he will never repeat this in his life again.
And that's it for the Midday News. Thanks so much for your company. I am Emefa Apawu. Dr. Mental Tobil has living word.